Rugby World Cup, week 3, team of the week, folks. We are still at the stage of the World Cup where there are close games, massive blowouts. It's a real mixed bag. It's kind of hard to rate guys against each other when one result is two of the best teams in the world, which stays within a score, and another result is like 90 points to nil. But we'll go through them. 15 guys, and you guys can let us know your thoughts. I've kind of had to do this one in a hurry. It's school holidays here in New Zealand. My 2 children are home with me here, and I feel I should do dad stuff instead of just sitting in front of rugby highlights and stats and whatnot. So here's the kind of abridged version of the team of the week. Forgive me if it's a bit shorter than normal or a bit less detailed, but Bevan Rod from England, loose head prop, did pretty well in their big blowout of Chile. It was close for 20 minutes, but the English forwards got on top. He gets his first ever test try. He makes all of his tackles. He doesn't concede any penalties. It's exactly what you want from your prop. He's still only a really young man. He looks a lot older than he is. He's just got a mature face about him. But yeah, to be where he's at, only in his early 20s, is a testament to how good the guy could potentially be going forward. Tight head, I have gone with a Tongan player in old Big Ben Tamiafuna. Losing effort from them. Disappointing, honestly, but geez, he still stands out. I mean, he stands out because of his physical stature, but he stands out with his performance as well. He likewise finishes with a try, which he seemingly had no right to score. They've only credited him with 1 defender beaten, but he was taking about 3 players with him over the line. He has 18 metres from 5 runs, which again, for a guy his size, doesn't seem right. He has 11 from 12 of his tackles. He makes a couple of passes. He only concedes the 1 penalty. So, yeah, captain's knock from the big Tongan tight head. And hooker, I've gone with another Englishman. I was pleased to see him get some game time ahead of Jamie George, old Theo Dan. I think he's got a lot of potential. He's another very young man to be playing in the front row. 2 tries from him, also flicks through a try assist. That's kind of unusual. The tries are maul tries, which is more to be expected. He has 8 runs, 28 metres, beats a defender. The line-out operates at 90%. He only misses a couple of tackles, but he makes 5. So, yeah, I thought he looks really good, and I hope old Steve Borthwick gives him a little bit more game time. Locks, Guido PETTI, he's still an aerial genius. He is just such a great asset to have in the air. Like, around the park, 6 runs for a metre ain't great. He makes 3 from 3 tackles, which is, again, not that fantastic, but 9 passes. The guy loves getting his hands on the pill, and he's such a good passer of the ball. And 8 line-out wins is an incredible number. He is just safe as houses for that line-out, and also pinches 2 of the Samoan line-outs as well, which is among the most of any guys who stole line-outs this week. So, yeah, I would like to see a bit more of him from around the park, but geez, in the air, it doesn't get much better than Guido PETTI. He is absolutely an athlete. And speaking of a guy who was good at line-out time, I've gone with a South African and old FRANCO MOSTERT. Disrupted the Irish line-out, putting it mildly. He has 2 line-out steals in that game. The Irish line-out couldn't get things going. He's a big part of that disruption. He makes 2 runs for 2 metres, which ain't that great, but he makes 9 out of his 10 tackles, 90%. Pretty solid shift. He's always been a bit of a tackling machine. And remember, it's hard to compare the numbers with the South African forwards because so many of these guys get subbed after like 40 minutes. So you're looking at only really half a game. So 9 tackles in half a game is fantastic. He might not have got to 18 if he'd played double the minutes, but you still think he would have done all right. 4 passes, 1 line-out win on South African ball. He does have a penalty conceded, but yeah, very disruptive of that Irish line-out ball early on from old FRANCO MOSTERT. Loose forwards, I've got the Uruguayan shirt on for a reason. Manuel Aldao, goodness me, Aldao was amazing at the breakdown. He's only credited with 4 turnovers. Initially, they had his numbers a little bit higher, but I say only 4. 4 is incredible. To get 4 turnovers in one game is virtually like David Pocock. I think David Pocock's had 5 at a World Cup. Genuinely quite incredible. It's like more than a hat trick of tries, basically. Josh van der Fleer regularly gets turnovers. He got 2 in, I think, that game. Tyke Byrne regularly gets 2 or 3. So to get 4 is just, it's very, very rare. He also has 6 from 6 tackles. He was more looking to jackal than to tackle. That rhymes, but Yeah, he has 29 meters, 8 carries, beats a defender, has a clean break, has 7 passes, even has a line-out steal. But yeah, 4 turnovers is quite a shift from the Uruguayan against Italy, Manuel Aldao. And then another loose forward, I've had to go with a Welshman and Jack Morgan. He's another captain fantastic. He's doing a bit of everything. What doesn't he do? He has a try from that maul. He has a try assist where he gets himself into some space from a line-out set play. He has 25 meters, 6 runs, has that clean break, which is the line-out move. Beats a defender, he has 6 passes, makes 17 out of 17 tackles. Goodness gracious me. Work rate. Doesn't concede any penalties. Steals a line-out. Kicks a 50-22. The guy is bloody incredible. You're very lucky to have him in Wales because he is just a machine. And then, speaking of a machine, I've gone with an Irishman, an old KAELAN DORIS. Hard to pick an Irish forward out for that forward pack effort, but I've gone with DORIS. 9 runs, 25 metres. He's the top metre getter for Ireland in the forward pack in that game because metres were hard to come by. It was an absolute crunch match, but he's your top guy. He has a defender beaten. He has 3 passes, and he's got 13 from 13 tackles. He's your top Irish tackler. To be your top metre man and your top tackler speaks to something special. Like, again, in the context of this, you could have picked a guy from one of the games where it was lopsided and you get like 80 meters or something, but for the context of the game, I think we need to rate KAELAN Doris's performance with kind of like-for-like stuff. So, yeah, there you go. I thought he put in a pretty good effort. Scrum half, it pains me to do this because he's injured, but Antoine DuPont, until he got his face smashed in, was looking pretty bloody good. I think all rugby fans wish him a speedy recovery. In the limited time that he was on the game against Namibia, a try, 3 try assists, his skill set is incredible. He can set it up in so many different ways. He had 71 meters. He beat 7 defenders, had 4 offloads, 5 kicks, made 4 from 4 tackles. The guy is insane. Please get well soon. World rugby is a better place when Antoine DuPont is on the field. Absolutely. And number 10, is it A-N or A-N? TOMMASO ALLAN. I thought he steered the ship pretty well against Uruguay. Like, there was a little bit of a chance that game was going a bit haywire, but I thought he took the game by the scruff of the neck and helped set up an Italian pretty comfortable victory in the end. Finishes with a couple of try assists, gets 10 points from the boot, has 7 runs for 85 meters, which in a game where Uruguay were being so brutal on defense was actually a great return. He's got a clean break, he's got a defender beaten, he's got 24 passes, so really getting involved with his distribution, 5 from 6 tackles. Yeah, I'm not sure that they get quite that result without his leadership there at number 10. Midfield, I've gone with Bundee Aki. Is this 3 weeks in a row? He's in the form of his life. He's unbelievable. He's got 66 meters, which is the most of any Irish player in that game from 14 carries. Beats 4 defenders, which in that game were pretty hard to come by. He's got a clean break, 6 passes, an offload, makes 5 from 6 tackles. Jeez, he just looks amazing. He is coming into peak form at a World Cup. Sometimes that happens. Players just go into beast mode at the right time. Bundee Aki seems to be doing that for Ireland. Like, not that long ago, you would have been asking yourself, who's the best midfield for Ireland? Is it Ringrose and Henshaw? Should you have McCloskey in there? Blah, blah, blah. Right now, it seems to be Aki, one of the first names off the team sheet, without doubt. He is just in the form of his life. Midfielder, alongside him, I've gone with George North. That Welsh effort against the Wallabies was incredible. George North was a big part of that. He got 42 metres in that game as well. 9 carries from him. Beat 4 defenders. Like, he certainly outclassed the Aussie midfielders. Like, Karevi was made to look bang average in that game, whereas North was just solid as a rock. Made 10 from 10 tackles. 1 a turnover. George North was likewise rolling back the clock to put in a pretty good effort. Wingers are unbelievable this week. Like, geez, there's so many wingers you could pick. So many of them had incredible days. I have gone for a Scottish winger and old Duhan van der Merwe. He was just, 14 defenders beaten is stupidly high. And they weren't playing a team which is supposed to be that bad, but they made it, like, he was kept very quiet by South Africa. And Tonga's not a bad side, but they were made to look pretty bad at times, man. 14 defenders beaten is insane. 3 clean breaks, 129 meters, scores a try, has an assist. He only has 3 from 5 tackles because Solomon Akata sat him down once and bumped him aside once. But then he did the reverse and then added some to it. So I still think you get a big net gain with Duhan there. 4 passes from him. Yeah, he is, when he's getting some go forward, geez, he is hard to manage. Right wing, I ended up going, I don't mean to dismiss old Henry Arundel with 5 tries, but Peno has 3 tries and 3 assists, so that's 6, which kind of beats 5. I mean, you can go with Arundel. I will go through some honourable mentions. I mean, Peno, 7 clean breaks, 8 defenders beaten, 136 metres, 9 passes, 15 carries, like I mentioned, 3 assists, 3 tries. It was an insane difference in skill between the Namibians and the French. You could argue between the Chileans and the English as well. There's other wingers who had great efforts as well. I'll go through them in a minute, but Damian Penaud just looked on another level, and he was in that game. And then a fullback, I've gone with another Scotsman. And old Blair Kinghorn could have had 2, but he finishes with 1 try and assist. He also has 100 plus meters with 103, 13 carries, has 4 clean breaks, has 5 defenders beaten, 14 passes, so great involvements. His skill set at the back helped get Scotland some great go-forward balls. So, yes, pretty crazy stuff. Some honourable mentions. I'm not going to go through them all because my kids are currently out my front yard with spades in their hand and probably digging a big hole in my deck. I can see them putting dirt on the deck, so that's going to be required a bit of cleanup. So, I mean, Sutherland and Thomas, loose head props from Scotland and Wales, respectively, were fantastic. Malvaca for France looked great at hooker. Tom Francis was getting some dominance up front for Wales. Jose Madeira, the Portuguese lock, was getting some good go forward and turnovers and whatnot. He was incredible. Olivon for France, geez, he was insane as well. He got almost 100 metres, which for a loose forward is nuts. Rory Dage for Scotland got a try and a bunch of tackles. Lorenzo Canone was huge at number 8 for Italy. Likewise, was Falatau for Wales. Gareth Davis was great. Gareth Anscombe was great from that Welsh performance. James Lowe wasn't really running the ball that much, but his big boot and his defensive work, his turnovers were incredible. Garbisi at 12 for Italy looked the business. Fiku at 13 for France was amazing. Arundel, like I mentioned, scored 5 tries, which in itself is insane. Storti from Portugal was a big part in them being able to get that draw against the Georgians. Niniashvili, speaking of Georgians, busted, I think, like 11 tackles in that game, which is also incredible. Marcus Smith also looked really comfortable at the back for England at 15. You could go on. My children are going to be causing havoc. I need to go. If you want rugby jerseys, though, Lovell Rugby, down in the description. They've got heaps of them. Check out any deals that they've got on for this World Cup if you want to get yourself some rugby gear. It's not just jerseys, it's boots and jackets and hoodies and all that kind of other stuff as well. They're an affiliate of the channel. Got heaps of stock. I've bought heaps of gear from them before. People ask me, where do you get your rugby gear? A lot of it's come from Lovell if it's the stuff I've bought. But yeah, link down in the description to them. You guys let us know your thoughts. Take care. And yes, I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.